We have a straight fist, which we line these two knuckles up with the arm, and actually the knuckles aren't flat here, because if they were flat here, this knuckle would be hitting instead of this knuckle, so we have to bring it down a bit so this knuckle here would be hit. So we like it to be one straight object. So when we hit somebody, if we're hitting him vertical or horizontal or reverse, it all depends on our position. We've been covering all these strikes. We don't just use our arm, like in your snapping techniques it's mostly arm, but quite often we lock and hit with our whole body. So when we do our techniques, we hit with our body. So apart from our straight fist, we have a spear thrust. So usually what happens after you hit things for a while, your hands will fold up so that your three main fingers are hitting flat at the same time. If you practice hitting walls and things like that, you'll end up doing that, because if it's straight out and this finger's longer, then it's going to take the brunt of all the technique, so the force of what you're hitting. So in this position, when you're doing a spear thrust could be poking into the throat. You can spear thrust inside into the diaphragm. You can spear thrust into the armpits. You can spear thrust into different points. It's an effective technique, but it's nothing that you want to lock your whole body and generate. Now, another thing that we do is sort of like a pecking. So you're loose, and then you tighten up your finger at the last point. So pecking is sort of like you could peck somebody on the head or in the temple. You're rolling around on the ground, you don't got much room, and then you just loosen up your hand and you peck with these fingers. And you can keep pecking somebody in the same spot. It gets annoying after a while. Apart from pecking, we also have palm strikes. Now our palm strike, usually the angle that we utilize is the same angle that comes off the back leg, and the back leg thrusts us forward, striking the palm into our opponent. So if somebody was his size, and I think, well, I don't really want to fight him, I want to get the fight finished as quick as possible, I would check this hand from his lead leg and come straight through with that palm strike, but I would be digging it up. But my body's getting lower as my hand's coming out. So it's not like I'm lifting off my feet to get height. Make sure that you're getting your power from your body going lower and your arm coming upwards. So your palm strike is a fairly simple one. It's usually used under the chin, but you could use it into the base of the skull and other points. Apart from that, we also have a hammer fist. So it's hitting this part of the hand. And if you're loose, like when we were doing our fire technique, you can still get that snap. The snap usually happens like, if he punches me from this side, I'd come around and I'd snap him into the kidneys. Again, he could come to punch me, and I could come in this position and snap him into the base of the skull. But I'd most likely want to do something in a backhand with the hammer fist. So if he comes from the other side, and I move in this position here, I could come and use a hammer fist to rattle his noggin. So most times, even if you wanted to, there's a knife edge. The knife edge is used on chopping, like into the carotid artery, jugular vein, and you can do an inside strike too. So if I was moving in this position, or if I moved all the way up from here, we could use what's called the ridge hand, which is hitting on this side of the hand, coming in again to the carotid artery in this position. From here I could pseudo chop this way. I can come straight with a blade on an angle, locking my body, hit him in the pec to show you the power, into his carotid artery, hitting in this position. So we have many different tools.